Hey y'all, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my kitchen. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all 4 cookout side dish recipes. I know we're right in the heart of summer. I know we're all kind of staying at home. It's a little bit different of a summer so far. But if your family is anything like mine, that's not stopping y'all from barbecuing, from cooking out. So I have 4 yummy side dishes that you and your family are sure to love. So all 4 of these recipes are of course super delicious. They're super easy, super quick to make, and they're very budget friendly. So I'm sure any of them will go with anything that you decide to throw on the grill this summer. Really quick, if you are new to my channel, anytime I do these recipe type videos, make sure you check down in the description box. That's where you'll either find a link or a typed out recipe. It just makes it super easy for you to go and try the recipe yourself. Also, with that being said, if you are new, I would love for you to take a look around my channel. We're always doing some cooking, some decorating, some grilling, all sorts of fun stuff going on over here. So I would love for you to hit that subscribe button before you go. All right guys, with all that being said, let's get right on into these side dish recipes. So the first thing we're going to start with is a loaded baked potato salad. So you're just going to start with 4 or 5 russet potatoes. I like to rub mine down. First of all, I'll wash them really good. Then I rub them down with a little bit of olive oil and salt. I wrap them in aluminum foil and I bake them in the oven at 425 degrees for about an hour or until they're soft. While your potatoes are baking, we're going to go ahead and make the dressing. So I add 3/4 a cup of sour cream, and then we're going to add 2 or 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. So for the seasoning in this dressing, we're actually going to use Hidden Valley dips in the Creamy Dill flavor. You can find these packets over with the normal ranch seasoning packets. I'm only going to use about a tablespoon in this dressing. I'm just going to mix that up really well. Next, you're going to mince half of a white onion really finely. Also, you could use scallion or green onion, but I had a white onion, so that's just what I'm using. If you don't like onion, you can just leave this part out. Once your potatoes are nice and tender in the oven, you're going to pull those out, and I let mine cool down for at least 30 minutes. They are going to be super hot, of course, but then you'll just unwrap the tinfoil and you just slice these up into chunks. So I like to leave my chunks pretty big at first because once we're mixing everything together in our bowl, they are going to kind of break down a little bit more in the bowl. So you kind of want to leave them big at first. Once you have all your potatoes chopped and in a big bowl, I'm going to go ahead and add that minced onion back in. Also, I'm going to add 1 cup of freshly shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I'm going to save just a little bit of that though for the topping. Next, we're going to add 4 or 5 pieces of bacon. I had already cooked mine up in the microwave earlier in the day, so I'm just crumbling that right on top of there. Also, I'm saving a little bit of that bacon to go on top as well. Next, we're going to just pour on that dressing that we made. Then next, all we're gonna do is toss everything together, and I like to let mine sit and chill in the fridge for about an hour at least. And one more thing I wanted to tell you guys about this. My husband, who is not even a potato salad lover, actually really enjoyed this potato salad. And then the next night, I took what was left over in our dish. I actually put it in the oven for about an hour and let everything get all warm and cheesy and melty. And that in itself was like a whole different dish, like a baked potato casserole. It was so good. So I hope that you guys will try this both ways. They were both so good. So anyway, after everything's all mixed together, like I said, I'm just putting it into a dish. I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap. Also forgot I am going to put a little bit more cheese and bacon on top, and then it'll be ready to go when we're ready to eat. So next we're going to make the easiest ever summer squash bake. So I actually had 2 zucchinis and 1 squash. I'm just going to slice those up to about 1/4 inch thick slices. Once I have them all sliced up, I'm just going to kind of arrange those in a baking dish, just kind of laying on top of each other, kind of alternating with the squash and zucchini. You don't have to do that, of course. It just looks pretty when you do. So I'm going to speed that up. I'm going to lay those all in there, and then you'll see that I had a little bit more squash and zucchini, and I put them on top, but then I didn't like it, so I was like, let me go back and make them all pretty. Anyway, you're going to sprinkle those with a little bit of salt, and you want to let these sit for about 10 minutes because anytime you have squash and zucchini, it's going to have a whole lot of moisture in there. So you're just going to let those kind of sweat out, wipe them off, and then we're going to add our topping. So there you see me rearranging those again. So anyway, for the topping, it's just going to be a half a cup of Parmesan cheese and a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and then a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Just going to mix that all up together. Also, I did add a little bit of dried parsley. If you have fresh parsley to put on top, it just makes it pretty, but I didn't have any, so just mix that all up. Next, we're going to drizzle the whole thing with just a little bit of olive oil. We're going to add some salt and pepper, and then that breadcrumb Parmesan topping. We're going to cover this and bake for about 30 minutes at 350 degrees, and then we'll uncover and broil the last 5 minutes so that topping gets all nice and crispy. Sometimes it's so nice to have something cool and crunchy to go along with those grilled meats. So we're going to make our wedge salad with homemade blue cheese dressing. So I'm showing you guys how I make my blue cheese right now. Super easy, but it just tastes so fresh and so good. So I add 1 cup of sour cream, 3 tablespoons of mayo, and then I actually use a packet of ranch seasoning mix. I also like to add a few drops of Worcestershire sauce to my ranch or my blue cheese. I don't know why, I just think it gives it a little something that you just quite can't put your finger on. So once I add that, I am going to add my blue cheese crumbles. Of course, you can add as much as you like just to get it the consistency that you want. I go ahead and whisk that up, and then sometimes I do add a little bit of milk. I add just a little splash here. I like mine to be pretty thin where I can pour it on all the wedges, but not too thin. Next, I just have a head of lettuce that I washed really well, and then I just slice those into wedges. You can do these as big or as small as you would like. It really doesn't matter about this part. And then we're going to add our toppings to our wedge salad. I like this because you can do this part ahead of time. I just don't add my dressing until right before I'm ready to serve. Of course, you got to have some red cherry tomatoes. I actually found some maple bacon from Aldi, and it tasted so good with that blue cheese dressing. So I have some of that I just chopped up. I'm going to add that on top. I also like to add a few more blue cheese crumbles just by themselves. And then, like I said, I just usually wrap this up, pop it in the fridge until I'm ready to serve. Next up, I'm going to show you how to make easy, cheesy Chipotle corn muffins. These are so good. So you're going to chop up 1 Chipotle pepper in adobo sauce, and then to a medium-sized bowl, we're going to go ahead and beat 2 eggs, and then we're going to add 2 boxes of Jiffy corn muffin mix. You're also going to add 1 small can of white sheephead corn, we're going to add our minced pepper back in. We're also going to add a half a cup of freshly shredded Monterey Jack cheese. We're also going to add a cup of milk, and we're going to mix this all together, careful not to overmix. We're going to bake this in the oven for about 20 minutes at 375 degrees until they are golden brown. Let me tell you, these are so good. They were not too overly spicy, so I think they'd be fine for anyone. You could even add in another pepper if you really wanted to. But these will be the perfect addition to any barbecue meal. Alright y'all, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed kind of cooking along with me. I hope that you will give some of these recipes a try. If I didn't show your favorite side dish today for a cookout, leave me a comment down below and let me know your favorite summertime cookout side dish. I hope you're all hanging in there. I hope you're all doing great. Make sure you subscribe before you go, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye y'all.